So let's start. We're just going to sit and breathe for a moment, feeling that energy in your back, trying to lengthen your spine, and then feel some energy reaching out of the crown of the head. So you're really kind of sitting with your best posture, making space for prana. Take a few deep breaths in through your nose, out through your nose or mouth. And if you'd like, set an intention for your practice. My intention today is going to be to have fun. And let's go ahead and relax your chin forward towards your chest. Let the weight of your head stretch the sides of your neck. And you can stay here or add in some half circles. Reaching your opposite shoulder down. Good. And just notice if you slept kind of funny, really take care of your neck. Nice. And we'll come back to the center. Inhale, ears over shoulders, and just roll and shrug the shoulders up, back and down, waking up the upper back. Good. And we're going to come over into our cat-cow. So opening up your hands, knees under hips. Taking that first slow cow tilt, go ahead and look up between your eyebrows. Exhale, round, scooping your low belly. And continue on your own speed, waking up your core. Good. Nice. Beautiful. The next time you come through that cat tilt, go ahead and bring your knees all the way together. We'll really scoop and move into child's pose. Arms forward or back, but try to keep that nice tuck in the tailbone, activating your core muscles here. In child's pose, breathing out. Good. And we'll inhale back into our table. And let's just check out those hamstrings. So knees are still together. Tuck your toes under. Come on up into downward dog with your feet together. Reach through your heels. You can bend the knees if you need to. Good. And then we'll go ahead and step your feet hip width. Taking your normal dog. Walk your dog, whatever feels good. But feel that space in your lower back lengthen. We'll inhale, come into plank, and we're gonna hold plank for a breath. Feeling that energy down through the balls of the feet, out through the crown of the head and heels. Let's bring our knees down. Keep your heart open as you lower all the way down. We'll inhale, low cobra. And just hold this one for a breath. We're gonna look around, release your neck, draw those shoulders down. Good. Exhale, lower. Inhale, back up, table. Exhale, downward dog. And let's just nod our head yes. Get any tension out from the cobra. Good. We'll start to walk your feet up towards your hands. Let's bend the knees. Really round your back. Let's hold those opposite elbows. And we'll pull down. Maybe straighten one leg at a time if that feels good, but really let your back go. And then we'll release your hands and elbows. Take your time curling up. Good. Let me get all the way up. We're going to come up to the top of the mat. That looks great. And let's do one sun salute A, one sun salute B today, just to get warmed up. Remember, having fun is just as important as your alignment. So we're feeling relaxed and open today. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Good. Try to keep your chest open as you step back through plank. Breathing out. Nice. Inhale, scoop through. Exhale, back up. 3 breaths in downward dog. And giving yourself time to open right behind the hips, all the way down through the Achilles tendon, heel, and we'll come up, scooping the core. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale all the way up. Good. Lower through the center, right into B, Utkatasana. Big breath out. Inhale halfway up, maybe a jump back, if that's in your practice to hover. Inhale, upward dog. Good, hugging those outer arms in, downward dog. Right leg's gonna come all the way up. Sweep up, warrior one. You can go slower, faster if you need. Back through your vinyasa. Good, take your time. Left side. Good, squaring those hips, ground through that back foot. Open chest. Good. 3 breaths or half dog if you need a rest. And then after the 3rd breath out, step or hop up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Back through your chair. We're going to stay in Utkatasana. Draw those upper arms back. Enjoy that energy and power in your legs. 1 more breath. Exhale, stand. Now we're nice and warm. It's nice and warm in here too. Okay, thanks, Michelle. So let's get into dancer's pose as a warm up for our Arda Dhanyarasana. Get your balance first in that left leg. We'll pick up the right heel. And just notice where your mindset is here. Put it right in that left standing leg. We're gonna kick your foot back and go ahead and grab the outer ankle with the same side hand. And you're trying not to let that knee poke forward. Drop your knee down. We'll take our left arm up. 1 breath here. If you're ready and your back feels warm, go for Natarjarasana. Squeezing those inner thighs together. We'll inhale, lengthen to come up, release, and just shake out both legs. And I know this is kind of a lot to ask of your back. It's not too early in the morning, but it's not even 10 yet. So if you need just to get that thigh stretch or quad stretch, you can go for that. So we'll take our other side. Yeah, finding your balance. If you're ready, you kick your foot back, dropping the knee down. So maybe you just stay here or lift out of your right arm. Maybe test the waters here. We're going to do the pose again, so pace yourself. Good. And we'll inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. Let's come right into Uttanasana. Any version, you could grab the big toes if you can reach them easily, or bend the one knee at a time again. Whatever feels good on your back. Good. And then we'll go ahead and curl back up for 1 more round. Okay, so this time, if you would like, maybe you just catch the foot with both hands and open the front of that hip, draw the knee down, or take a bigger version of our dancer's pose by spinning. My right thumb is coming towards that right big toe side of the ball of the foot. And that's gonna open the inner shoulder as I kick into my hand, trying to stay open in the front body. 1 more breath. You can always bend the standing knee. Inhale, lengthen. Draw that back shoulder down. Let's release. Second side. So try and keep this space by internally rotating your thighs, maybe catching with both hands, testing that balance, stretching your quad. When you're ready, taking a deeper version of the pose. So this is left thumb towards big toe side of the ball of the foot. Press your foot into your hand as you extend the front of the body, moving into your back bend. Nice. Keep breathing out and opening, and we'll inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. Shake it out. Let's come back to the top for a half sun salute A. Inhale. Feel all that space in the chest. Exhale, fold. Releasing your back. Inhale, halfway up. We're just gonna step back into downward dog. And take some nice breaths here, releasing the lower back. Good, and we'll bring the knees to the mat. Let's take a few breaths in half dog. You might choose today to bend the elbows, bring the palms together behind your head in half dog. Getting that stretch in your triceps. Big breaths out. Good, and if the palms are together, let's release your forearms down and just melt into an easy extended child's pose here. You might rock a little side to side, but starting to open the pelvis. Good, and then on your next inhale, we'll come back into table. Just move through your spine a little bit, releasing any tight spots from that dancer's pose. Good, okay. So let's come on down to our belly today. We're gonna work into some different versions of our wheel here. So on your front, let's start in Sphinx. Bringing the forearms ahead of you so the elbows are in front of your shoulders, so you can really just let your back be like a hammock here. And you could be relaxed with your head or be more active by pressing the forearms down. But check out what's going on in your feet here. Relax the legs. Feel some space in the lower back as best you can. And then that heart center's opening. One more big breath. And let's exhale, turn the elbows out, palms in, make a pillow for your head, and rest your back. Good, and then we're gonna peek forward. So let's look at Arda Dhanyarasana, half wheel. We'll start by bringing that left arm forward. I think I'll turn sideways, you can see better. So left arm's gonna come forward, right heel in towards your hip. We're gonna grab the outer ankle like we did in our dancer. Press down through that left hand to lift up as you kick your foot into your hand. So you might stay here or come up higher if you have that space. I'm trying to turn that right thigh inward so the low back stays open. One more breath. And then we'll exhale, lower. Second side. Finding that internal rotation, space in the low back as you press your foot into your hand. Press that right hand down to lift up. Open heart. Energy through your chest. One more breath. And we'll exhale, release. And just turn your cheek to the side, arms down by your side. Breathing into that middle and lower back. Okay, so depending on how warmed up you are, if that felt like a good stretch, we can take our full Dhanyarasana or do half again. If you're taking your full, we'll inhale, forehead to the mat. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. And either bend one or both knees. Find the outer ankles. And I'm going to flex the feet here So I can really press my ankles into my hands to lift the upper body forward and up. You can continue to open using those legs. Last breath. We'll exhale, release. If you did the one side, go ahead and take your other side. If you did your full wheel, let's bring hands under the shoulders, press back into downward dog. And just let that low back extend. Good. And then we're gonna stay in downward dog for everybody's favorite tricep push-ups here. See if you can bring both forearms down at the same time, all the way to the mat, and then press up at the same time. If that feels too grinding or difficult in the shoulders, just come halfway down. Keeping that space between the shoulders. 3 is plenty. Good. Yeah. And then we'll start to walk your feet back to your hands. Taking a nice Uttanasana. Interlace your hands behind you. Let the arms flow over. Getting into those inner shoulders. Heavy hands, last breath out. We're gonna lift up through our hands. Come all the way up slowly. And then just pull those hands down. Let's look up, open the chest one more time. And we'll release. Notice the difference in your posture. Hopefully you're a little bit more open in the chest. We're gonna do some shoulder openers before we get down into our big Urdhva. Oh, actually, while we're up here, if anybody has a wall conveniently located, it's always a good practice to think about drop backs into Urdhva. We're not going to teach that online, but those of you that know your drop backs, you can get into it. Maybe you just work on powering up the legs today, bending the knees forward, rocking that tailbone under. If you want to try, lift the arms up, flex your wrists, fingers towards the wall. And you just see how far away that wall is. Maybe walking down. Rocking forward to safely come up. And you could try a couple. If you need a break here, a wall sit is also a good idea. Pressing that core into the wall to stretch out between the vertebrae. I love the wall sit to release your back. So let's do one more round of either drop back or wall sit. Using the core to wrap in. Yeah, and maybe it's been a while since we've done our big standing back bends. Been a while for me too. So let's release and we'll come forward. Back bending poses are great for depression or lethargy or just to get you fired up a little bit. Not so great for anxiety. So we'll always end with forward bends because they tend to rev you up. So let's just come forward. We'll have a seat. We're going to stretch out our shoulders here. So either coming into Sukhasana or if you're ready, go Mukhasana. Right leg on top of left. We'll take the right arm up, spin that hand to face the back, and bring your elbow behind your head. And let's use our other hand today to pull that elbow behind your head. Press your head into your arm. We'll bring your other arm behind you for the full pose. So grabbing your fingers, your shirt, your strap. If you want to go more, hinge at your hips. We'll just do 3 breaths here. Use your inhale to lengthen to come up. Good, untie the arms. And let's go the other way into Garudasana. So new arm's gonna come on top, wrap, and lift. And again, if you wanna come forward this time, scoop your belly and round forward. Good, and we'll inhale, untie your arms, and just roll the arms out. So let's keep your fingertips on the mat today for our Navasana boat pose. We'll come up, protecting that lower back. You could always bend your knees, but see if you can keep your chest open. Good, and then we'll switch legs. We have a new leg on top. Let's keep our heat going here. New arm up, flip it to face the back, elbow behind your head. And just notice if there's a difference. Good, try to anchor that top thigh down. Adding the second arm internally, rotating. Finding your fingers or your shirt, we'll lift up. Soft breaths or come forward. Good, and then we'll take your time, reaching through that top elbow to come up, untie, right into the eagle wrap. So whatever arm was internally rotated now is coming up. And we'll squeeze the forearms together, lift up, or add the scoop, widening your upper back. Good. And then gently release. Good, undo. So in our dancer's pose and all those big lifts, the glutes are getting a strong workout here. So let's just play with one more here. If you can, and it doesn't hurt your knees, bring your shins parallel with the top of the mat. That hurts, you can come into Sukhasana. But let's just see if you can walk yourself forward. We'll change legs in a second. Externally rotating, releasing behind both hips. Getting that space back in your lower back and glutes. Last breath out. And we'll inhale, come back up. Very effective opener. If this doesn't work for your knees, fire log is also an option, much more challenging. So let's come back up into our boat. Again, bending the knees is going to be easier on the lower back. We'll switch. Right leg back on top, or whatever your other leg is. See if you can shimmy the shins forward, feeling those sits bones as you walk forward. Whew. Breathing out. Good. Anchoring that top leg down. One more big breath out. We'll inhale, come on up. All right, so let's shake the legs out. We'll skip our boat here. We're gonna open the inner hips. Let's start in Baddha Konasana, our diamond, and go ahead and shift. Bring your hands behind your hips so you can lift, push yourself forward. So it's a pretty tight diamond today. And then just rock a little bit side to side, opening those inner hips. Good, and then we'll keep the soles of the feet together. Let's do our counterbalance. Lean over to your side as you press the opposite inner thigh down. Getting some space in that inner hip. And we'll release, second side. Good. And then we'll release. And let's take your left leg, it'll be your mirror image here, forward for Shrishasana. So maybe today think more about that back bending feeling in your chest and only tilt as far forward as you can with your straight leg and long spine. So using a mat will give you something to pull on, getting your hamstring stretched, but keeping long in the front body. If you can maintain that space, come further forward. And then last breath here, we'll go ahead and round head towards your knee. Good, and we'll release. Inhale, come on up. Let's pick up that bent knee, either staying here or crossing today for a bigger lower back opening. We'll take our twist towards the bent knee. Lifting up and around. Use your elbow on the outer thigh to press. Good. Last breath, get taller through the crown of the head. Twist more as you exhale, and then we'll release ribs, shoulders, head. Good. Let's shake out that leg. Other side. Shrishasana A with an open heart. Coming forward. Just keep reaching energy out of the crown of the head. Last 2 breaths with the long spine. And then we'll exhale, release. Good. Just notice where you feel the stretch. Maybe it's different right to left. Beautiful. Release. Inhale, lengthen. Good. Picking up the knee for our twist. Maybe stepping that foot across, wrapping and lifting out of the lower back. Really opening that outer hip. Keep trying to pull the collarbones apart. Last, inhale, long spine. Exhale, turn a little bit more. And we'll release ribs, shoulders, head. Good. Let's shake out the legs. Okay, so before we get back into our supine poses, you decide if it would feel good for you to keep the legs parallel today. Sometimes pressing the shins with the hands and then resisting by pressing the shins outward gives you that space in the low back for Paschimottanasana. Or if you're liking those inner hip openers, take your forward bend in the straddle today. Whatever feels good for you. But really opening the whole back body here, the hamstrings, the back, behind the hips. Yeah, if you're taking that strong pose here, let's go ahead and release your arms, head towards the knees for the last few breaths. Good. And then we'll all slowly inhale to come up. And we're going to lay back, taking a slow curl down. I'm going to pivot sideways here. Okay. So let's go ahead and bend your knees, walk your heels in towards your hips. And let's just think about our Urdhva Dhanyarasana. The legs are just like they would be in bridge pose. Hips, knees, and toes in 2 parallel lines. We're not going to let this happen. So let's go ahead and bring your arms down by your sides here for a slow press up into bridge, really focusing on reaching the knees forward and the tailbone down between your knees. So you're pressing the big toe side of the foot down. Take 2 more breaths here. Lifting the heart up. And then be just as mindful as you come down. Press through those big toes. Slowly come down. And take a pause here. Relax your back, your chest, and your neck. Good. So if that was feeling good for you, please continue with your Setu Bandhasana. You do not have to think about Urdhva Dhanyarasana. It's pretty tricky on the wrists and the shoulders, but if you want to attempt it, we'll look at it this way. Let's take the arms straight up, drop the shoulders down. So the upper arm bones are sinking down into the shoulder socket. Flex your wrist. We're going to bring the fingertips by the ears. So using that tricep push-up, holding that space between the shoulder blades. And then we're gonna take our bridge here without letting the elbows get wide. So you just see how it goes, maybe coming up a little bit or into a high bridge, or maybe pressing up onto the crown of the head. Using those arms, hugging the outer arms so they stay parallel, elbows are over wrists, or maybe all the way up into your Urdhva Dhanyarasana. Knees reaching forward, strong hamstrings. My chest is reaching forward, one more breath. And then I'm gonna bend the elbows, mindfully coming down, tucking the chin in, slowly easing the hips down, and we'll swirl the wrists around. Good. Let's take a pause here. So you can stay right here with the knees bent or open into diamond, whatever feels good for you. Because we're gonna try that one more time. So if you are not doing your Urdhva, here's another idea for your bridge. You would bend the elbows and really activate through those triceps, pressing the upper arms down. That's gonna allow you to open your chest into your Setu Bandhasana. So that's for my friends that aren't doing your Urdhva, or maybe you don't press up and just feel the shoulder opening of the upward facing wheel. So whatever you're doing, let's go one more round so we get this benefit of the heart opening back bend. So taking your setup wherever it is, could be here, and then using that strong energy in your back to lift up strong hamstrings, maybe coming up higher. Feeling that heart center open. Good, good, good. Wrapping those outer arms, and we'll come on down slowly with control. Woo. Good morning to your back. And let's swirl the wrists out. Did a great job, Michelle. I was watching you. And let's hug your knees in. Yeah, even if you're just coming to the crown of the head or not even pressing up at all, you get that big opening in the shoulders, right under the shoulder blades. So let's take the knees in. We're all done. Circle the knees. Release, release the back. And a great counter pose for back bends is core strengthening, our favorite. So let's reach for the front of the shins today. You're gonna press your shins into your hands to lift up, chin to chest, so like that hair pose. 3 breaths. Stretch your shoulders apart, round your back. One more, strong, strong legs, and then we'll release. And let's come into happy baby pose. And you could rock whatever feels good. Good. And then your choice, either take your left knee across the right or just come in with the knees together. We'll exhale, legs to the right. Deep twist, releasing the back bend muscles. But keep your heart center open. Maybe breathe out through your mouth. Spring cleaning. Good. And then we'll use your exhale. Let's squeeze the legs together to come back onto your back. Untie the knees. Let's do another happy baby. Good, and we'll change sides. So if you're taking the wrap, it would be right leg over left this time. Exhale, legs to your left. And take some deep breaths out through your mouth. Letting go of anything stuck or stale from this past year. Making space for prana, life energy. And then we'll exhale, squeeze the legs in. Awesome. Release, and let's just do dead bug pose here. So let the limbs move around, shake out the feet and hands, feeling loose in the hips and shoulders. Just move however you want. Remember, we're supposed to be having fun in our practice, so dead bug. I'm prepping, I'm going to the preschool to teach after this, so I'm getting all my little spring animals ready. And then we'll release. Let's bring your left foot to the mat, hug your right knee in for any hamstring stretch that would feel good for you today. Maybe take it a little easier, or add head to knee, or extend the bottom leg down. Appreciating our health and well-being. Good. And wherever you are, we're going to release the leg, take a slow lower, and then just let both legs roll in and out, arms roll in and out. And we'll segue to our left side. So let's start by bending both knees so you can let your hips scoop under, hug that left knee in, right foot on the mat. And we'll extend the left leg. Maybe head to knee, maybe lower the right, whatever feels good. Good, and then we'll gently release your leg, slowly lower that left leg. And let's go ahead and have the arms overhead. We're gonna do one more side body opener here, our banana pose. So move the upper body over to your right. Maybe grab that left wrist. Move the legs over to the right. Cross the ankles if that feels good. And just take a few breaths here. Good, and then we'll let go of the wrists and ankles. Segue back to the center. Move over to your left side. Holding that right wrist, you can pull under the shoulder, legs to the left. Deep breaths out. We'll let go of the wrists, let go of the ankles, come back through the center. And we're gonna try on circle pose because I find that that's really calming, and it's gonna bring our focus back inward after these big extroverted poses we did today. So let's curl over to your right side, and I'll demo. I gotta take this mic off here. You're gonna ideally have your right arm like a pillow overhead. If that doesn't feel good, you can bring your arm down behind you. Sometimes that doesn't feel good on the chest. Your left knee is gonna hike up here. So I'm kind of on my belly and my side. Left knee connects to the left elbow, left middle finger to the third eye. Just take a few breaths. Turning inward, maybe visualizing that third eye, indigo blue. If you're happy here, feel free to stay. You could also come onto your belly, turning a cheek to the side or forehead down, or come into any Shavasana shape that would feel good for you. Visualize a vibrant rainbow. Seeing your tailbone and pelvic floor glowing red. Your lower back and belly glowing orange. Your solar plexus glowing yellow. Your heart center, upper back, green. Your neck, blue. Forehead, glowing indigo, deep blue. And top of the head, glowing purple. Feel balanced and whole. Very gently invite a cleansing breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Gently coming back into your body, back into the present moment. And start to move the hands and feet. Feel refreshed. And then when you feel ready, take a stretch and yawn. Maybe noticing any space in the side body or back. And we'll roll over to your right and come up to a seat the way we started. And coming back to your intention, or perhaps just notice what comes into your consciousness. And we'll bring the palms together, sealing in the practice, bringing it with you. Om Mani Padme Hum. Compassion to all sentient beings. Shanti, peace. Namaste.